Family feud or twin loyalty? Flush-faced Tamera Mowry's divorce just took a shocking twist, and this time, the shade is coming from her own sister, Tamara. Cory just stepped out with a new girlfriend, and at the same time, Tia's twin sister Tamara dropped a comment that shook fans everywhere. Collision. We thought Tia and Cory's story ended with divorce, but were we wrong? And the most shocking part, Tamara might actually be siding against her twin. Family drama is heating up in the Mowry household, and fans can't stop talking. Tamera Mowry recently threw shade at her twin sister, Tia, after rumors surfaced that Tia might be trying to reconnect with her ex-husband, Cory. But here's the twist: while Tia is rumored to be looking back, Cory is very much looking forward, proudly stepping out with a new woman. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's sparking endless debate online. The Mowry sisters have always been admired for their close bond, polished public image, and the way they carried themselves with grace. But this new chapter is testing everything people thought they knew about them. Let's rewind. Tamera Mowry shocked her fans in 2022 when she announced the end of her 14-year marriage to Cory. To many, the news came out of nowhere. For years, the couple had been seen as one of Hollywood's most stable, inspiring unions, a partnership rooted in love, respect, and family. But when Tia posted that emotional Instagram message revealing she had filed for divorce, she explained it as a step toward personal growth. It wasn't about anger or scandal. It was about her choosing herself, her happiness, and her future. Fans responded with overwhelming support. Many praised her bravery, calling the decision a bold act of self-love. Tia's announcement carried a tone of grace. She emphasized that she and Cory would remain committed to co-parenting their two children, Cree and Cairo, and that their family bond would remain intact even if their marriage didn't. It was the kind of separation people often wish for but rarely see in Hollywood: respectful, thoughtful, and mature. In the months that followed, it appeared that both Tia and Cory were moving forward quietly in their own ways. Tia leaned into her independence, posting radiant selfies, sharing motivational messages, and even joking about her new single life. Her energy shifted. She looked lighter, freer, and fans loved this new era version of her. She talked openly in interviews about choosing happiness, setting boundaries, and rediscovering herself as more than just a wife and mother. Cory, on the other hand, stayed more private. He didn't give lengthy interviews or public statements. Instead, he shared cryptic posts on social media, quotes about growth, change, and the lessons life teaches. For a while, the public assumed that both parties had accepted the breakup, focusing on co-parenting their children and finding their own paths separately. But as with many high-profile relationships, the story didn't end there. Over time, small hints began stirring speculation that Tia might not have completely closed the chapter on Cory. Around the one-year anniversary of the divorce filing, she shared reflective Instagram posts about second chances, love, and fighting for what matters most. She never mentioned Cory by name, but the timing made fans wonder if she was talking about him. Adding to the curiosity, Tia and Cory were spotted together more often than people expected. Of course, with two kids, it's natural for them to interact, but witnesses at certain family events noted their body language. To some, it didn't look like two exes keeping things civil. It looked warmer, more familiar, even flirty. And while Tia publicly joked about dating again, she was never linked to anyone new. No rumored boyfriends, no paparazzi shots with a mystery man, nothing. That absence of a visible new relationship made fans wonder if her heart was still tethered to Cory. Meanwhile, Cory was writing his own story, and it looked very different. Instead of giving the impression of longing for the past, he began stepping out in public with someone new. At first, the signs were subtle: a mysterious hand in a photo, a caption about peace, a story showing him at dinner with an unidentified woman. But soon, the subtlety disappeared. Cory appeared at an industry event with the same woman, standing close, laughing, and sparking immediate speculation that she was his new girlfriend. The moment that really set the internet ablaze was his appearance at a charity gala. Cory didn't arrive alone. He walked in arm with the same woman, cameras flashing as they posed together. To many fans, that was confirmation. Cory had officially moved on, and he wanted the world to know it. This created a stark contrast between the exes. On one side, Tia was posting messages about growth, reflection, and possibly second chances. On the other, Cory was stepping boldly into new companionship, unbothered by public speculation. The internet immediately compared the two approaches. Some applauded Cory for showing he was thriving and not dwelling on the past. Others criticized him, calling it insensitive to flaunt a new relationship while Tia was still healing. Then came the twist no one expected. Tamera Mowry, Tia's twin sister, entered the conversation. Fans had always seen the sisters as each other's biggest supporters, bonded not only by blood, but by a lifelong friendship. Yet Tamara's comments during interviews and podcasts raised eyebrows. When asked about divorce and reconciliation, she laughed lightly before saying, "Sometimes people romanticize what they walked away from, but let's be real. If it didn't work the first time, why keep trying to force it?" Though she never mentioned Tia by name, the implication was clear. Fans instantly took it as shade directed at her twin. Not long after, when asked whether she thought Tia and Cory could ever reconcile, Tamara smirked and said, "I wouldn't bet my money on it." Again, her words seemed harmless on the surface, but in the context of everything going on, fans saw them as digs at Tia. The reactions online were explosive. Supporters of Tia accused Tamara of being unsupportive during her sister's vulnerable moment, calling her comments disrespectful and cold. Others defended Tamara, arguing that she was being real, that sometimes tough love is necessary, especially when emotions run high. But whether intentional or not, Tamara's words added another layer of drama. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about Tia and Cory. It was about family loyalty, sisterly bonds, and whether cracks were showing in the once unshakable image of the Mowry twins. What had begun as a private divorce announcement had now snowballed into a full-blown public saga. Blogs and talk shows dissected every detail. Fans debated double standards, why men are celebrated for moving on quickly, while women are judged for looking back. And in the middle of it all stood Tia, Cory, and Tamara, three people navigating love, heartbreak, and loyalty under the harshest spotlight possible. And the million-dollar question remains, where does this leave them now? Is reconciliation truly off the table for Tia and Cory? And can the Mowry sisters weather this storm without letting the drama redefine their bond? But over the past few months, whispers started spreading. Some fans noticed small clues suggesting Tia might have second thoughts, reflective Instagram posts, heartfelt interviews about love, and her frequent appearances with Cory outside of parenting duties. The chemistry between them, some argued, never really faded. Was she reconsidering her decision? Meanwhile, Cory Hardrict was living out a very different chapter of the story. While Tia's posts leaned toward reflection, empowerment, and whispers of second chances, Cory seemed intent on sending a louder, clearer message. He had turned the page. And instead of hinting at reconciliation, he was stepping into the spotlight with someone new. At first, it started subtly, almost like a trail of breadcrumbs. Sharp-eyed fans noticed an unfamiliar hand in the corner of a social media story. Then came cryptic captions about choosing peace over perfection and embracing change. Alone, those posts could have been harmless, general reflections that anyone going through a transition might share. But when pieced together, they painted a different picture. To many, it looked like Cory was dropping hints that his life had already taken a new direction. The speculation only grew when he was spotted at a small industry event with a woman no one recognized. Observers said the pair stood close, whispering and laughing in a way that felt far from casual. It wasn't a full-on debut, but it was enough to get people talking. Blogs picked up the story, fans dissected every blurry paparazzi shot, and Twitter threads buzzed with questions. Who was she? Was this serious? And most importantly, what did it mean for Tia? But all doubts disappeared at a recent charity gala. Cory arrived not as a single man, but with the same mystery woman at his side, arm in arm, smiling confidently as cameras flashed. For many fans, that was the confirmation they had been waiting for. Cory wasn't just testing the waters, he was officially moving on, and he didn't care who knew it. The internet immediately went into overdrive. Comparisons between Cory's boldness and Tia's quiet introspection spread across social media. While Tia was sharing thoughtful captions about self-growth and second chances, Cory was showcasing companionship in the most public way possible. To some, this was Cory reclaiming his narrative, proving he wasn't sitting at home sulking over the end of his marriage. To others, though, the timing felt calculated, as if flaunting his new relationship was less about love and more about sending a message, both to the public and perhaps to Tia herself. The mystery woman became a subject of endless debate. Rumors swirled that she wasn't just a random date, but someone connected to the entertainment industry, someone who moved in the same professional and social circles as the Mowry sisters. That possibility raised the stakes. If true, it meant this wasn't only about Cory moving on with his life. It was about making a statement in a way that couldn't be ignored. Public reaction split down the middle. Some fans cheered him on, applauding his decision to embrace happiness and move forward openly. They saw him as a man who had weathered a painful divorce and come out stronger, unwilling to hide or apologize for finding new love. Others, however, were quick to call him out. They argued that his public debut with a new partner so soon, while Tia was still being linked to emotional reflections about the marriage, was insensitive at best and disrespectful at worst. The debate only grew louder once Cory's name began trending on Twitter and Instagram. Hashtags pairing him with Tia flooded feeds, while memes and commentary videos dissected every detail of his appearance at the gala. Headlines from celebrity blogs popped up instantly. Cory Hardrict moves on, mystery woman steals the spotlight, Tia and Cory saga takes a new turn. What made this story stick wasn't just the gossip factor, it was the double standard people saw playing out in real time. Commentators began pointing out how men like Cory are often applauded for dating openly and quickly after a divorce, while women are expected to move on quietly, gracefully, and without scandal. The idea that Tia could be judged for potentially considering a reconciliation, while Cory was praised for boldly debuting a new partner, struck a chord with audiences. That's why Cory's new relationship quickly became more than just tabloid fodder. It sparked conversations about how we view love, divorce, and gender roles. Fans weren't just reacting to Cory and Tia's choices, they were projecting their own experiences onto the story. For some, it hit home as a reminder of how unfairly women are judged in breakups. For others, it was about family loyalty, wondering how they would feel if their ex moved on so publicly while they were still figuring things out. And of course, Cory's decision didn't just affect him and Tia, it pulled Tamera Mowry into the spotlight too. The sisters had long been admired for their closeness, always presenting themselves as the perfect example of family unity. But Cory's bold new chapter, combined with Tamara's later comments about not forcing failed relationships, shifted the focus. Suddenly, fans weren't just talking about whether Cory had moved on, they were questioning where Tamara stood and whether her words were quietly backing Cory while putting distance between her and Tia. In the end, Cory's public debut with his new partner marked a turning point in the saga. It wasn't just about blurry hints or cryptic posts anymore. It was a clear, confident statement. His marriage to Tia was over, and his future was headed in a different direction. But while Cory may have been smiling for the cameras, the move left fans divided. Was this genuine love on display, or a carefully timed message aimed at silencing speculation about a reunion? Was Cory embracing peace, or was he adding fuel to an already messy fire? One thing's for certain, the moment Cory walked into that gala hand-in-hand with someone new, the entire narrative shifted. What had once been whispers of reconciliation became a full-blown debate about loyalty, love, and the complicated ways people move forward when a marriage ends under the public eye. And that's where Tamara enters the picture. Reports claim she isn't thrilled about Tia's alleged interest in rekindling things with Cory, especially now that he's openly seeing someone else. Her shade toward her sister added a whole new layer of drama, leaving fans wondering if the sisters are truly as united as they've always appeared. So now the questions are swirling. Is Tia really trying to win Cory back? Who is Cory's new girlfriend? And will this situation strain the once solid Mowry family bond? What's clear is this isn't just another celebrity breakup story. It's a mix of family loyalty, personal choices, and very public moves that could shift how fans view the Mowrys forever. Fans couldn't help but notice how differently Cory Hardrict and Tia Mowry handled life after their split. While Tia leaned into self-reflection and motivational posts, Cory stepped out publicly with new company, letting people draw their own conclusions. To some, this was Cory taking charge of his story, showing he wasn't stuck in the past. To others, it felt like a pointed move, almost like a message aimed at Tia as much as the public. Things really picked up once rumors spread about Cory's new partner. Whispers claimed she wasn't a random face, but someone from the industry who moved in the same circles as the Mowry sisters. That detail made people think this wasn't just about moving on, it was about making a statement. The internet quickly split into two camps. Some praised Cory for embracing happiness and refusing to let the divorce define him. Others dragged him, calling it disrespectful to parade a new relationship while Tia was still processing. Arguments got so heated that Cory's name started trending, with hashtags about him and Tia filling social feeds. And then came the curveball, Tamera Mowry's reaction. Instead of defending her sister or staying neutral, she made comments that many fans read as shade. It started during a podcast appearance earlier this summer. When asked about relationships and divorce, Tamara laughed and said something like, "People sometimes romanticize what they walked away from. But if it didn't work the first time, why force it?" The line got laughs in the room, but fans online instantly connected it to Tia, and they weren't amused. Not long after, Tamara was asked in another interview if she could picture Tia and Cory reuniting. With a smirk, she replied, "I wouldn't bet my money on it." For some, it came off as honesty. For others, it sounded like a sister clowning her twin while the world was already piling on. That's when the backlash hit. Supporters of Tia accused Tamara of being unsupportive at her sister's most vulnerable time. Viral tweets called her out for forgetting twin loyalty. TikTok montages spliced Tamara's comments next to clips of the sisters' close bond, captioned with, "This is not what we grew up believing." Still, not everyone saw it as betrayal. Some argued Tamara was being real, giving her sister tough love instead of false hope. They insisted it wasn't shade, it was protection. But the damage was done. Headlines screamed about sister shade, and insiders even claimed the twins had a private disagreement afterward. Reports suggested Tia felt blindsided, while Tamara defended herself, saying she was just being honest. The bigger picture? For years, Tia and Tamara's brand has been built on sisterhood, unity, and love. But this moment peeled back the curtain, showing cracks in that perfect image. What began as Cory moving on has now spiraled into questions of loyalty, family tension, and whether the Mowry bond is really as unbreakable as fans believed. When blogs like The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, and Gossip picked up the story, the drama exploded. Headlines screamed that Tamera Mowry had shaded her sister Tia over Cory Hardrict, and suddenly the narrative shifted from a private family matter to a public spectacle. Every smirk, every quote, every social post was dissected and turned into proof that the twins were feuding. Talk shows and YouTubers joined the conversation too. Some cast Tamara as the villain, while others said her comments showed that even the strongest family bonds can crack under the weight of love, divorce, and heartbreak. A few voices took it even further, tying the whole situation to bigger cultural issues. They pointed out the double standard. Men like Cory often get praised for moving on quickly, while women are expected to handle divorce with quiet grace. If a woman shows interest in revisiting a past relationship, she's labeled desperate. If a man starts dating right away, he's celebrated as confident and thriving. And that's why this story hit a nerve. It wasn't just about tea, it became a mirror for real-life struggles. People started asking, should siblings always stand behind each other no matter what? Or is there space for honesty, even when it stings? And what does it say about the media that it so often profits from turning women against each other, especially sisters? The Mowry drama grew into something larger than gossip. It became a cultural conversation about divorce, loyalty, and how we navigate moving on when love falls apart. Fans weren't just following the headlines, they were projecting their own stories onto it. Stories about heartbreak, about family support, about figuring out what comes next. But at the center of it all, it's still about three people: Tia, Tamara, and Cory. And the real question remains, where do they go from here? Is Tia truly looking back? Is Cory's new chapter permanent? And most importantly, can the sisters repair the cracks this public storm has exposed?